Hello, wealthy family, and welcome to this week's Mindset Monday. We're doing our part 3 of the Psychology of Self-Esteem, and I just wanted to do a review of this book because it's a hard book to read. And I condensed it. I really condensed it because this could have been a lot longer, but I want people to understand our uniqueness as human beings, our ability to develop language and thoughts and have a self opinion of ourselves, a self image of ourselves, right? Which thereby develops our persona, our personality. But in the society that we live in, the majority of us have the tendency to live in a perpetual state of fear or a perpetual state of anxiety. Okay? And this is a clinical term, it's something that has been diagnosed. And what that feels like is, in the movies where you have those guys dangling like over a pit of alligators or a pit of fire, and they have a frayed rope hanging them on, and someone has to try to come pull them up, right? But can you imagine how that person felt, right, while they were hanging there? Or maybe someone who has a bad car accident and they happen to go to a ledge and they're kind of teetering over, a little bit over. Imagine that anxiety, that panic that they feel, okay? So anxiety feels just like that, except you're not dangling over anything. You don't have a frayed rope that's about to dissipate. You just have that feeling all the time. You're not teetering on the edge about to go over. You just always have that feeling that something is going to happen. And living in anxiousness like that, having anxiety like that, really hinders your ability to be happy, to be confident in yourself. So what are some things that we can do to overcome that feeling, to succumb it, right? What is, now that we know the psychology behind it, or how it feels behind it, right? And how that can now lead us to develop a negative, right, or a not so favorable self-image of ourself, right? Our self-esteem. How can we transmute that and change it and make it fit something that works for us? Okay, so a couple of pointers that this therapist says that he does with his clients that really help them. The first one was writing. Now, I know people may be like, writing, who does that? We type, right? But there is magic in writing, taking your thoughts from your head and writing it on a piece of paper. So not just freelance writing, but you want to start writing about how you actually feel about yourself, right? What is it that you want? A lot of us don't know what we want. What is it that you want? What do you want to feel? What do you want to experience? What do you want out of life? What do you want people to experience when they're with you? What do you want your job and your career to look like? What do you want in all its glory? Try to see that, really visualize it and put it on words and paper. And it doesn't matter if it's scattered. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if it's chicken scratch. Just write it down. Sit down and really have that internal thought process with yourself, okay? And then once you start doing that, start making a commitment to yourself that every day you're going to do something that's going to help you move in that direction. Now, of course, working with a therapist, you have that accountability. You have someone that you can bounce it off of, but you don't need a therapist. You can be your own therapist, right? You can do that, and by doing that, you're building your trust in yourself, your confidence in yourself, and thereby your self-esteem. Because if you do something, one little thing every day, right, that moves in your purpose, or things that's going to give you what it is that you want, you're naturally going to start feeling better about yourself because you're keeping little promises to yourself. See, my desire, what I've come to realize is I want to inspire other people to be able to live a life of happiness in their truth, in their real authentic truth, because there's not enough of that going on. So the little things that I told myself I was going to start doing every day was I promised I was going to meditate every day. I promised I was going to do a video every day to try to reach people. And I promised myself that I would tell my children every single day that I love them. Inspire. I want to inspire and I want to invoke that. And just those 3 little steps, I made no excuses. Oh, I woke up too late. Oh, the weather is bad. Oh, it's too noisy now. And oh, I don't have a great camera, and I don't have a big audience. My children had different schedules. Sometimes they get on my nerves, and I don't want to tell them I love them. But no, I make it my point and my duty every day to do that. And since I've done that, I can now start building on those little promises to myself once I start getting consistent with it, right? But journaling really allowed me to because I did practice this as well. I know I'm telling you what the therapist did, and I kind of got off into what I'm doing. But journaling really allowed me to get back into that flow of my thoughts. Because when I was younger, I used to write a lot, and then I got away from it. And just writing allowed me to see, okay, this is what I want. This is what it is that I would like to do. Another suggestion that the therapist put out there was to sit down, and similar to how I'm just recording and essentially talking to myself, because I don't know if anyone's ever going to see this video, but sit down and do recorded sessions with yourself. Okay, so kind of interview yourself, but don't think too hard on the questions. If you ask and just say the first answer that comes to mind, the first thing that comes to mind, that's usually the most authentic, regardless of what the thought process is. But don't judge it, just answer it. And then since you're able to record it, since you're recording it, you can now go back and review what it is that you said. Now you can analyze the body movement, the tensity, the hesitation, the things that may trigger off, okay, why am I reacting that way? Why am I feeling that way? Right? So start getting comfortable with talking to yourself and knowing yourself, because again, it's your self-esteem. Okay? And you want to know what your self-esteem is being built off of. And it should be being built off of your own opinions. But like I said, we are a collective, so we sometimes gather the collective energy, and thereby we get lost in translation, thinking that it's something we're doing, but it's really someone else's opinion. Okay? And then the third tip that he recommended that we do is, well, get outside help. But I know we're trying to do this if you're not so much outside, if you don't have outside help, but looking for support groups. Okay, so I know in this time people are distancing themselves. I don't want to say social distancing because I don't like that, because I'm being sociable with you right now, right? We're physically distancing ourselves. That's what's happening. So I know a lot of people aren't meeting physically, but even if you can find support groups online, through Zoom meetings, and getting in a collective of people who are looking to ask those hard questions and develop and grow their psyche, right? Being around those like-minded individuals is going to help motivate you and propel you to better yourself as well, right? Because birds of a feather do what? They flock together. And where you have multiple energies coming together for one purpose, one similar purpose, or one like-minded purpose, one goal, one main objective, there you go. When you're around a collective of people going towards that, you'll go faster, right? You'll move faster and you'll move stronger, having that accountability. So those are just 3 different steps on how you can kind of start seeing your own self-esteem and your own self-psyche, and how you can also kind of alleviate some of this anxiety that you may feel. A lot of people live in constant fear of something, or constant anxiousness over something that they have no control over, or it probably won't even happen. And by doing that, keeping those emotions and those chemicals in your mind is not going to leave a lot of room for well-being, for love, for happiness. That's the gist of this book. That's the gist of what this book is saying. This book is saying if you don't start seeing where some of this psychology and where these thinkings, these thoughts are coming from, it's going to cause you to continue the behavior. So at the end of the day, just start expelling those outside forces or those outside influences and start being more connective to yourself. And what's a better time in order to do that, right? This book was written many years ago, but right now it's so timely because everyone is home. Some people have lost their jobs. They have nothing but time on their hands, and they have all these thoughts, and you don't know how to process those thoughts. You don't know how to get it organized. So take one of those tips, right? Start writing it down. Start asking yourself the question. Let me flip to the page. Hold on. Let me flip to the page so that you all can have a good, suggestions on what questions you should ask yourself. Okay. All right. So, it is astonishing how seldom a patient who is seeking to depress his emotions thinks of asking himself. Now, these are questions that you want to ask you while you're writing your stuff down. These are questions you want to think of, okay? So grab a pen and paper and write these questions down so you can go and start practice these exercises. What do I want? This is perhaps the most important question a person can ask himself. What do I want to accomplish in my career? What do I want to be professionally 10 years from now? What do I want to feel about my work? What do I want others to appreciate about me? What qualities do I want to find in friends? What qualities do I want to find in a romantic partner? What do I want to feel in regards to a romantic partner? What do I want to feel every day? That's psychology. How do you want to feel every day? Do you want to feel joyous, happy, excited, loved? How do you want to feel every day? If you look in the mirror every day, I'm going to end on those questions. If you look in the mirror every day and you ask yourself, am I happy with my life? Am I happy with the choices I made yesterday? And the answer is consistently not one you like to hear, then you need to start changing it. Because you have the power to do so. And start sharpening your self-confidence in yourself. Start sharpening your self-esteem and start raising it and vibrating higher. It's time to ascend in the feelings that we have regarding ourselves. What do you want? How do you want to feel? What is it that you want to experience in your life? And have a real honest conversation with yourself. Get yourself in a calm state of mind, whatever that may be, whether it's sipping some wine, sipping some tea, drinking some water, going out in nature, smoking a blunt, whatever it is. Quiet your mind and come into those thoughts and then sit down and either write it out or record yourself or find a support group, but have those questions ready so you can look for those responses, those answers somewhere. Ask and it shall be given, right? So that is all that I have for you today, wealthy family. I hope you enjoyed my self-esteem trilogy. Right, I tried to make it base it off the psychology because it's important to understand the psychology of things, but also give you some practicability, make it relatable and understandable, make it understandable, because I want to make sure you get it digested, right? Become one with it. Go put it into action. Applied knowledge is power. Okay? So if you found any value in this video, please share. By all means, our community is growing. Welcome new subscribers, especially if you, I have to start doing that in the beginning. But welcome everybody, and thank you. If you haven't subscribed as of yet, subscribe. Let's connect, right? Shoot me a comment below and let's grow together. Until next time, wealthy family, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love.